One of the most popular and badass characters in the series is Vegeta. Today we're going to take a look at what I consider some of his best moments in the series. For those who have been watching my top 10s, you'll know I try to do more unique lists. So what I mean by top 10 moments are the moments that define his character, not just the cool moments. So let's get started with some honorable mentions.
Vegeta! 俺のブルマに何しやがるいいな、ご飯。
はい。
いい作戦だな。健闘を祈るぞ。よそ見してていいのか？チャンスを失うぞ。
While Nappa is seemingly unstoppable, Piccolo comes up with a plan. He tells Kuririn that they're going to catch him off guard and take him out. Vegeta overhears their plan and tells him, "That's a good plan." Piccolo turns with a bead of sweat running down his face like, oh shit, he overheard us. Now he's going to warn Nappa. But to his surprise, Vegeta tells him, hey, you might want to hurry or you'll miss your chance. The fact that you can say, okay, there's a sense of cockiness about this guy, but this also tells the audience that this is a guy who thinks none of these heroes are a threat, and that even if they killed Nappa, he wouldn't care. It's a great way to hype him up as we hadn't seen much from him yet.
知りたいもんだ。貴様ら人造人間でも恐怖に怯えるのかどうか。
After seeing Trunks go Super Saiyan and then Goku with his own eyes, it only assured Vegeta that this was a transformation others could achieve. His moment finally came when the androids appeared, and it was...
Dear God, it's beautiful.
It leaves the rest of the Z-Warriors flabbergasted, as Vegeta was still very much a wild card in all of this. Vegeta then goes on to absolutely decimating Android 19 and then forces 20 to retreat. Why going Super Saiyan for the first time was a big deal was that it, yes, kept Vegeta relevant in the story, but it also showed the beginning stages of his changes. This was a determined person who put a lot of work in to achieve this. Before this, he would fight and get stronger, probably did some minor training, but he probably never pushed himself as hard as he did here. In the anime, we are shown how he did it, whereas in the manga this is kind of left out. But I do think this filler scene perfectly conveys the character's mindset, one that would continue when he trained in the Room of Spirit and Time before confronting Cell for the first time. Next on this list is the rematch between Vegeta and Frieza. This scene has so much emotion in it. Being subjugated his whole life, to having his father and his people killed by him. Even the planet he once called home was destroyed by him. When he tried to get his vengeance the first time, it cost him his life. Now he has the chance to show Frieza how far he's come. The fact that he's on the same level as Goku at this point has Frieza in disbelief. Vegeta takes so much pride in being the one who defeats Frieza once and for all. Of course, being the sore loser he is, Frieza destroys the Earth, which results in Whis undoing it and Goku swooping in to save the day again, but I still think it stands out as a strong moment for the character.
弱っちい癖してチョコにして食べちゃおうかな。それともチーズクラッカーにしようかな。
貴様を倒すには二度と修復できないよう粉々に吹っ飛ばすことだ。さらばだ。ブルマ、トランクス、そしてカカロット。
I think this is a scene that many of us think of when we think of the character. When Majin Buu appears, Goku and Vegeta agree to stop fighting and to go confront him. Vegeta decides to knock out Goku and take care of himself. At first it seemed he just wanted to take the glory for himself. After arriving, he senses that Gohan's ki has vanished, and then he apologizes for Gohan's presumed death. It soon becomes clear that Vegeta is here to take responsibility for allowing him to emerge in the first place. Unfortunately, he is no match for Buu. When Trunks and Goten arrive to help, he takes a moment to think. Piccolo arrives and takes care of Babidi. Vegeta tells Trunks he never hugged him before and asks if he can do so now. After hugging his son for the first time, he knocks him out and then knocks Goten out. Piccolo comes down and Vegeta tells him to take the children and to get far away. Piccolo immediately understands and says, "You're planning on dying." Vegeta asks if he'll be able to meet Goku in the afterlife, to which Piccolo says no. Vegeta's saddened and a bit disappointed by this, but then when Buu makes his way to them, he tells Piccolo to hurry and to get out of there. Vegeta tells Buu that he's going to blow him up into so many pieces that he won't be able to regenerate. As he charges up his attack, he says farewell to Bulma, Trunks, and even Kakaroto. He then lets out a huge blast of energy that claims his life, and seemingly incinerates Buu. The scene ends with a beautiful narration.
壮絶な光の彼方に挑戦士は消えた。その名は誇り高きサイヤ人の王子ベジータ。
ブラックを倒す。それが貴様のゴールなのか。その先を見ろ。まだ見ぬ敵を。宇宙最強。お前が誇り高きサイヤ人の血を引く者ならば、俺の息子ならば、誰にも負けることは許さん。
This is what I like to consider Vegeta giving fatherly advice to his son. This comes from the Goku Black story arc in Dragon Ball Super. And while yes, it is a fine line as to what is considered canon in Super, this will be a video that I will be doing next week, so don't worry. I still think this is a powerful scene. Trunks tells them what Goku Black has done, how he's killed his mother, and how he's been unable to defeat him. Vegeta angrily storms off. He trains in the gravity room and says he'll make Goku Black pay for hurting his family. To hear Vegeta speak this way shows how much he's grown as a character. This all comes down to a moment where he confronts Trunks, and he tells him not to give up, and that he will find a way. Trunks and Vegeta have a bit of a sparring match, and then Vegeta shows he can turn blue like Goku. Trunks smiles with relief, as maybe now he doesn't have to worry. Goku and his father will take care of everything. This angers Vegeta. He tells his son, as long as you have the blood of a proud Saiyan running through your veins, and as long as you are my son, I will not accept you losing to anyone. Vegeta is determined to push his son to get stronger and to be the one to save his own future. This scene shows Vegeta as a good father. He wants to help Trunks save his future, but he wants to push his son to fight and save it himself.
Vegeta さん、ありがとうございました。貴様は戦いの中、敵の俺に頭を下げた。それは戦いを捨てたのも同じだ。俺はそんなサイヤ人を許さない。すみません。サイヤ人の誇りを絶対に忘れるな。サイヤ人の誇り。
This is a scene that I feel adds so much depth to a character who had already gone through heavy character development 20 years prior. When we learn there are other universes out there, this opens a plethora of storytelling that I personally find this is what helped Dragon Ball Super excel so much. In Universe 6, we find out there are Saiyans. But they're very different. When the fighters arrive, Cabba greets Vegeta. As they talk about his homeworld, Sarada, at first it's their planet has, a different vegetable name. But no, this is actually the name of the original homeworld for the Saiyans in Universe 7 as well. But it was destroyed by inner conflict, Vegeta says. This was heavily hinted back in the Namek saga when Vegeta talks about the origin of the Super Saiyan. When Vegeta and Cabba fight, he sees that they have a similar fighting stance and similar fighting styles, so he becomes intrigued. However, he is soon disappointed when he learns that Cabba cannot turn Super Saiyan, nor can any of the Saiyans from that universe. So Cabba pleads with him to teach him, and Vegeta does. After doing so, they continue their fight. In this fight, there is a moment where Cabba is unleashing a barrage of attacks, which makes Vegeta smile. He's enjoying himself in the fight, of course, but not for the reasons he used to enjoy fighting. Rather, this is Vegeta seeing his people in another universe and how they're the same. They can get stronger, and in the heat of battle, they rise up and get even more powerful. After the fight, Vegeta goes over to his unconscious opponent and wakes him. What follows is one of the most emotional moments for the character. Vegeta kneels to Cabba and tells him, "Don't forget your Saiyan pride," and to not only get stronger, but to aim to surpass Vegeta himself. Cabba tells him the king is very prideful, much like Vegeta. Vegeta replies that he would like to meet him someday. This scene is only elevated by Piccolo's reaction. Goku can't figure out why Vegeta's acting this way. Piccolo smiles and says he completely understands Vegeta's feelings. Being someone who had never known his own people, and then finally getting to meet them and know them later on, Piccolo has always been a character who understands Vegeta the most, in my opinion.
Hi. ベジータさんの勝ち。やった。ついにカカロットに勝ったぞ。
Let's be honest. Vegeta had never beaten Goku. Technically, yes, he could have beaten him in their first encounter, but his hubris got in the way, something that would torment him for years. After that, Goku was always one step ahead of him, and he was always playing catch-up. In the Dragon Ball Super film Broly, Goku and Vegeta have a sparring match. But this isn't a fight between enemies, rather a fight between friends. And knowing the long history these two have had just adds so much more. Vegeta's exclamation at the end when he finally wins is only complimented by Goku's smile when he admits that, yeah, he lost. But Goku, of course, isn't happy that he lost, rather that now he has to train even harder so he can beat Vegeta next time. This scene is capped off with Broly and Limo in tears, who are basically a representation of longtime fans who long to see this moment.
始めるぞ。用意しろ。
用意って何の？
元気玉の用意だ。
When all hope seems lost, Vegeta suddenly calls out to Kaioshin and asks them to go to New Namek, gather the Dragon Balls, because he has a wish he'd like to make. This confuses everyone, including the audience. Vegeta says he wants the Earth restored and that he wants everyone brought back to life except for the truly evil ones. First, Goku says this is premature, as if they lose the fight, it'll be for nothing. Dende then remembers, wait, Porunga can only revive one being at a time. But to everyone's surprise, the new Elders has upgraded Porunga since the encounter with Frieza. Convenient for the story, yes, but it makes sense after what happened. Goku assumes Vegeta wants Gohan and Gotenks to help out. But Vegeta has a great line where he asks him, how many times have you saved the world? It's time for the Earthlings to save it themselves. He then tells him to prepare the Genki Dama. Why this moment stands out is because it shows Vegeta putting aside his pride for the bigger picture. From here, it becomes a collaborative effort to defeat Buu. But Vegeta still deserves a lot of credit for formulating the plan and is even rewarded by being brought back to life as he is no longer considered truly evil anymore.
どちらかは消えてしまいます。ですから約束を守ることは永遠にできません。俺が優勝してスーパードラゴンボールで貴様たちを生き返らせてやる。僕たちを？あいつとの約束を守らなければならないんだ。だから俺のやり方で限界なんぞ超えてやる。そして全貴様に勝つ。
This might not be what many of you expect to see so high on this list, but I personally feel it is one of Vegeta's finest moments. Yes, going Super Saiyan for the first time was iconic in its own right, but there's just something so much more powerful about this moment here. During the Tournament of Power, Vegeta is an unstoppable force, Toppo has the powers of a god of destruction, Goku and Vegeta are ready to stand off against them. Goku goes all out. Super Saiyan Blue, Kaioken times 10. Vegeta goes blue, but then he starts to dig even deeper, more than he's ever done before. With Super Saiyan, it comes from a place of anger. But for Vegeta here, he digs down and finds some deep emotions within himself. And he starts thinking of Cabba, who had recently been wiped from existence. He thinks of the promise to him. Vegeta wants to protect those he cares about, but he wants to do it in his own way. This new power is born out of selflessness, which is something the character wasn't used to showing. His sacrifice against Buu was more of atonement than selflessness. He was throwing his life away to undo his wrongs. What follows here is a great fight that has Goku and Vegeta fighting side by side. During the fight, Toppo steps in. He and Vegeta fight one-on-one. Vegeta is no match for him. It seems like Toppo might defeat or even kill Vegeta at this point. Vegeta digs down deep again. He thinks of everybody again and then explodes with more power, being not only able to deflect Toppo's destruction blast, but even getting in a lot of hits as well. This is something that is connected to the number 1 pick, but Vegeta once mentioned that Goku doesn't fight to win, but rather he fights with the sense of no matter what the odds are to not lose the fight. And Vegeta's basically taking a page out of Goku's book here, as he's fighting this fight to not lose, to make sure Universe 7 doesn't lose. He then tells Toppo, I'm going to show you what real destruction power looks like. And then he lets out the same explosion he used against Buu. But this time he survives the explosion and knocks Toppo out and wins.
ついにこの俺を殺すことはしなかった。まるで今の俺がほんの少しだけ人の心を持つようになるのが分かっていたみたい。頭にくるぜ。戦いが大好きで優しいサイヤ人なんてよ。頑張れカカロット、お前がナンバーワンだ。
I think many fans will agree. This is not only one of Vegeta's finest moments in the series, but this is the definitive moment for when he changes. During the final fight with Buu, he does all he can, but he's forced to sit it out while Goku fights at Super Saiyan 3. He begins to think back to first meeting Goku and then recaps all the things that's happened since. He then says that he had always thought Goku's strength came from wanting to protect his loved ones. But no, he too now has people he cares about, so it can't be that. He has always fought for fun, to kill his enemies, and even for his own pride. But for Goku, it was different. He didn't fight to win, but rather, he fought with the mindset that no matter what the circumstances were, that he would not lose, and he would surpass his limitations. He then says, while it pisses him off to see a kind-hearted Saiyan who loves fighting, he wishes him luck and says, "You're number one." I hope you enjoyed this top 10 Vegeta moments. What are your favorite Vegeta moments? Also, who else deserves a top 10 moments list? Drop a comment below and let me know. As always, like, subscribe, and share, and see you soon.